Well, we had to wait an extra day for this one, but that was the right decision because it is a beautiful night for football here in New Richmond. Welcoming everyone to New Richmond High School. My name is Evan Hong alongside my producer, Colin McLowry tonight, and we got a great one for you tonight under the Friday night lights. It is the Eau Claire North Huskies, the visiting team, taking on the New Richmond Tigers. This is week 2 of the WIAA prep football season. A little bit about the home team to start this one off. The Tigers coming off a win last week, a narrow win against Marshfield, 7-6. An extra point, that was the difference in that game. They're off to a 1-0 start, of course, in their 7th season under Reggie Larson, and that game was on the road too. So this is the home opener for the Tigers tonight. Eau Claire North comes into this game coming off of a heartbreaking 19-22 loss to Menominee last week. That was a game where they led early on in the game. They started the game with 2 touchdowns, an early 13-0 lead. They actually scored on their first 3 drives to lead 19-7 at halftime before giving up 15 unanswered points in the second half to the Mustangs. So the Huskies looking to bounce back in this one. Matt McGinnis, the head coach for the Huskies in his 3rd season. This is the first road game for the Huskies this year. Now, this is a former Big Rivers Conference rivalry matchup, a small budding rivalry, shorter budding rivalry, I should say, because the Tigers have only been in the Big Rivers Conference for about 5 years, and history has not been kind to the Huskies in this contest. They are winless against New Richmond since the Tigers joined the BRC in 2020. Of course, the Eau Claire North Huskies, new members of the Wisconsin Valley Conference this year. This is their second non-conference matchup. Same with the New Richmond Tigers. Before the Huskies next week, they're going to be taking on Wausau West. But the story tonight is, will they be able to take down their former conference foes, the New Richmond Tigers? Last week, New Richmond quarterback Nick Stelreck, 10 of 19, 70 yards and a touchdown. Not a lot of offensive rhythm from the Tigers in that game. They did rush for over 100 yards in that one. Joe Hepner, 19 rushes for 91 yards. He was the workhorse for the Tigers last week. But they're going to look to get a little bit more of offensive rhythm going in this one tonight. It was a defensive battle last week. The Tigers hoping to let the ball fly on their home turf tonight. Keys to the game tonight, Eau Claire North. They're going to look to play a complete football game. Of course, we mentioned that last week. Huskies started the game coming out really, really hot, but just fell flat in the second half, and that was the difference. If they can play a complete football game, that might be the difference tonight for Eau Claire North. They're also going to have to cut back on the penalties tonight. Very crucial penalties on both sides of the ball last week of all sorts. Personal fouls, encroachment penalties, just first game of the year type penalties that are easy mistakes that can be cleaned up. The Huskies will look to do that and limit their dirty laundry on the field tonight. New Richmond, they're going to obviously try to find that offensive rhythm that I mentioned. Only 7 points scored last week. They're going to look to put up a big spot in front of the home crowd this week, and they're going to need to try to put some pressure on the quarterback. Last week, the defense had 4 sacks, 7 tackles for loss in the backfield. Linebacker Dennis Rock had 2 sacks of his own. Linebacker Trevor Solon had 2 sacks as well. So putting that pressure on this sizable Huskies O-line will be key, but we did see Peyton McCracken step into the pocket, take some hits, and throw it well last week. It's going to be a good one tonight. Beautiful crowd, beautiful night on hand here in New Richmond. This is a wonderful stadium. This is my 2nd or 3rd time coming out to this stadium, and it never fails to disappoint. Fans are in the shade, all covered up, and it's going to be a great night for football. For now, we're going to take it over to our national anthem.
Richmond High School
Not a cloud in the sky here tonight in New Richmond. It is shaping up to be a fantastic Friday night of football. Our pregame show is brought to you by Play It Again Sports. Buy, trade in, or trade up. Get ready for your season at Play It Again Sports on Hamilton Avenue in Eau Claire. As they introduced the Eau Claire North Huskies, last week we mentioned a very, very tough loss, tough pill to swallow for head coach Matt McGinnis last week. Just really, really disappointed and frustrated after that one. You could see it in his body language and you could see it in his voice and just feel it amongst his team. That was one that they thought that they could pull out. It was a good week for quarterback Peyton McCracken, 15 of 19, 224 yards throwing, 2 touchdowns. Running back Levante Bean established himself as the lead running back with 61 rush yards and a touchdown. Zach Shipman, the question coming into the season for North was who the skill players were going to be that were going to be the go-to guys to get the ball from McCracken. Zach Shipman proved it with 7 catches, 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. Aaron Solberg also backed him up with 6 catches, 85 yards himself. Defense going to have to step up for the Huskies tonight. No sacks in the game, 2 tackles for loss. They are going to have to do a better job in the trenches, to put pressure on the quarterback, Nick Stelreck, tonight. As we await the opening kickoff here, Eau Claire North, they're bringing back a lot of size this season. The team didn't return a lot of skill players. As I mentioned, they're trying to figure out who those go-to guys would be on the outside. It ended up being Shipman and Solberg. We'll expect to see a heavy dose of them tonight. They proved it last week that those guys combining for just about 200 yards in the air. Was pretty much 90% of the passing receiving yards for the Huskies last week, that those 2 guys are going to be the focal points for this Huskies offense. Program numbers slightly up from 2023 for the Huskies as well, and that's been a good sign. Great weight room participation this summer. We'll see if it can pay off and turn into a win tonight on the road. The Huskies will be the ones receiving this kickoff. Abe Monson set to kick off for the Tigers here as we get it going in New Richmond. There's the boot. And we're underway as New Richmond. And we are off and running. Here's Aaron Solberg. It's tackled hard down at about the 19-yard line on that return. A nice special teams play there for the Tigers to get some momentum going early. So we mentioned Peyton McCracken, the starting quarterback for the Huskies. Nice week last week. He looked more poised than we definitely saw him last year. Last year was his first year in the starting lineup. This year looking like he's already using that experience to his advantage. And we mentioned not that many experienced skill players coming back for this Huskies offense, so a welcome sight for head coach Matt McGinnis to see a quarterback coming back with that type of experience and not having to throw a new guy in there. He's looking a lot more calm, cool, and collected in the pocket. First down, Solberg in motion here. They're going to hand it off to Levante Bean for the first touch of the game, but he's taken down by a pack of Tigers there up the middle. Levante Bean got the majority of the rushing work last week for the Huskies. Levante Bean, the junior, 165-pound runner. He's shifty. Doesn't have that similar of a play style to what Cam Olsen had last year running up the middle, but Bean can make the cuts and get outside when he needs to. Here's McCracken looking to the outside. Checks it down. Mettler's going to be taken down. That's Ben Mettler taken down for about a 5-yard gain there on that pass. Make that a 6-yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and 5. Ball on the 25 now for the Huskies. Mentioned last week how important it was for North to be able to convert in these types of scenarios on 3rd down. They did a good job of it earlier on in the game, but were stymied late in the game by the Mustangs. We'll see if they can convert this first one here. 3 wide receivers lining up for McCracken. They're going to hand it off to Bean. Finds some space. Lowers a shoulder. And a nice gain for Levante Bean, taken down right at about the 39-yard line. So that's a Husky first down. You saw Matt McGinnis get creative with his play calling last week. Pulling some more tricks out of the hat. We'll see if he does that tonight. Already 2 running plays, 1 passing play, so trying to keep the balance going early. First down here for the Huskies. McCracken hands it off to Bean again up the middle for the draw. Small gain there, about 4 yards. Second down now for the Huskies. Last season, the Huskies lost 0-33 to the Tigers in Week 8. We mentioned they have not won a game against the Tigers since they joined the BRC in 2020. Huskies just hoping to outscore their game from last year on this first drive. Bean coughs it up in the backfield on the handoff. Tigers think they have it. We're waiting for the call. The referees say they do. So, just as I said, the Huskies wanted to come out and get a big score on the first drive. The Tigers take it away. Richmond takes over. Believe it was number 50, Dennis Rock, the linebacker. We mentioned had 2 sacks last week, who recovered that one for the Tigers. So that's going to bring out the Tiger offense. Nick Stelrecht is going to come out for his first drive of the game. The 6'5", 221-pound senior quarterback. More experience as a starter this year after splitting time with Reese Hiddie a year ago. First play for the Tigers offense is going to be Joe Hepner on the handoff. He takes it to the left side for a short gain. Tigers bringing back a lot of seniors on this offense. You mentioned Stelrecht, Hepner. All the 4 of their top wide receivers are seniors coming back, so this is an experienced group. A group that had a lot of success a year ago. Looking to replicate it. They think they can do that again this season. 2nd and 5, Stelrecht, quick throw up the middle on the slant. That one's caught by Aiden Eckert, one of the senior receivers for the Tigers, and that'll be a Tiger first down. This was a really, really strong Tiger team a year ago. Overall, 10-2 record, 5-2 in the conference. They finished 3rd in the BRC. That just shows you how deep the conference is. They lost to Wanakee in level 3. Stelrecht over to Hepner. Hepner's brought down. Looks like it's just short. Called about 8 yards there for Hepner. Mentioned Stelrecht getting some more reps as the starter this season. Last year, Reese Hiddie was the main guy for this Tigers squad, but he's since graduated. Stelrecht did get a lot of playing time. He played in about 10 games last season, so they were mixing it up as Hepner takes it up the right side. Stelrecht was able to get some experience a year ago that surely Reggie Larson planned on that working into his senior year here. So the Tigers into the red zone. As the Tigers pick up a first down here, very, very quick drive into the red zone here is only about half the field. They had great field position after the fumble, but we'll see if the Tigers can convert this one. Stelrecht hands it off, Hepner, but he's swallowed up by some Huskies outside there. Looks like Ty Schaff, the senior captain for this Huskies defense, was in there on the tackle. It'll be 2nd down now for the Tigers. Second and 7. We'll call it 2nd and goal here. Tight formation for the Tigers. Hepner gets the handoff again up the middle. Able to get a chunk there as they're inching closer to that end zone. The Tigers will be on 3rd down now. Ball on the 4-yard line. 4 yards to go here for the Tigers. Joe Hepner, no touchdowns last week, but he did have 19 rushes for 91 yards. So this is a guy who they're going to feed tonight. proving it so far. Austin Wittick will also expect him to get some run tonight out of the backfield for this Tigers offense. Another tight formation, just about the same thing we saw last play. But he's going to roll out. Stelreck rolls out and finds a man in the end zone for a Tiger touchdown. Looks like that is Carter Hickok with the touchdown, the tight end. So the Tigers get their tight end the ball in the end zone, and they are on the board first, taking advantage of that early turnover, coming out and putting some points on the board on their first offensive drive. We'll call that a 4-yard catch for Hickok from Stelrecht. As the Tigers motion into the kick here, extra point. And that is not what head coach Matt McGinnis wanted to see after such a strong start last week. Kick is good for the Tigers, so that's going to make it 7-0 home team. New Richmond on the board first. We'll take it to our first commercial break. You're watching high school football on Zaleski Sports.
Get more sales, more customers, more employees, more community support. Let Zaleski Sports help you today. Our advertising rates are less than what you have in your pocket now. People just like you watching this broadcast are your next customer or team member. Plus, you'll have the satisfaction of making sure that our light continues to shine on these student athletes. Use the phone in your hand. Email us now.
You're tuned in to Better Halves. Mike, what are you looking for?
Skip, I'm not getting older. I'm getting better. I still got big plans for my life and my Medicare.
I know exactly what you want from Medicare. Same as all the other guys. Me!
Welcome back to New Richmond. Quick message from Visit Marshfield. Be a part of Marshfield tradition at Maple Fall Fest. Don't miss the 32nd annual Maple Fall Fest, Saturday and Sunday, September 14th, 15th, Wildwood Park in Marshfield. Learn more at marshfield.com. Follow them on Facebook as the Huskies get rolled over there on the return. About halfway through this first quarter, Huskies fumbled on the first drive. A run by Levante Bean, coughed up in the backfield on the handoff. Tigers take it into the end zone off of that turnover. Nick Stelrecht to Carter Hickok for a 4-yard touchdown, and the Tigers on the board first. Mention how tough that is for the Huskies after how fast they started the game last week at Carson Park against Menominee. 3 touchdowns on their first 3 drives. Not the case tonight. Totally different story as the Tigers come out and punch them in the mouth early on in this game. Now is the time to see how they respond. McCracken hands it off to Bean on first down, so not shying away from giving the ball to Bean there even after the fumble. They're going to try to rebuild his confidence and get him some yardage, and hopefully he just hangs on to that ball if you're the Husky fans. Second down and 5 now for the Huskies. 2 wide receivers on the right side, 1 on the left for this Huskies offense, but handing it off again. But Tigers swallow up Bean in the backfield. A couple of them. Looks like Trevor Solon was there on that tackle and a couple of others. He'll get credit for that one. Third down now for the Huskies. They converted on their first one of the game. Huskies offense just not capturing that lightning in a bottle like they had last week early on in the game on offense. This is a New Richmond team that boasts a strong defense coming back, though. We mentioned Rock and Soland and Abe Monson, the senior, coming back. 2 all BRC players coming back on this defense. McCracken tries to escape, unable to. He's going to be taken down. It's going to be 4th down now for the Huskies. That is number 44, Trevor Solon again. So nothing there for the Huskies, and it's going to be a quick 3 and out. About 2 minutes of offense right there for the Huskies. That is totally not what the Huskies want to see early on. Matt McGinnis going to try to fire his guys up on the sideline as the defense comes back on the field. And Aaron Solberg comes out to punt. Monson back to return for the Tigers. Monson does everything. He's a defensive back. He kicks the kickoffs. He returns the kicks. We'll see what he can do on this return. Scoots back up the right side. Rounds the corner, finds some space. He's up the sideline and pushed out just past the 30-yard line, but there is a flag that's coming out. Potential late hit there by the Huskies, but nonetheless, great field position for the Tigers once again. Just about where they were on the last drive following the Levante Bean fumbles. So the Tigers doing everything right so far in this game. As we wait on the penalty call from the man in the white hat. That's a personal foul against North, so even more yardage going to be taken away from the Huskies and granted to the Tigers. Quick message from Herrick and Hart Law Office. Herrick and Hart Law Office has been on the side of the injured since 1951. Find them at eauclairlaw.com. About 4 minutes left here in the first quarter as the Tigers are just going to be on the fringe. They're actually moving up here. They're moving up the chains. They are going to be in the red zone to start this drive, so the Tigers have prime field position. They haven't played a snap of football on offense in their own territory in this one. They're already in plus territory. Tigers look to make it a quick two-possession game here on their home turf tonight in front of the home crowd. 3 wide receivers lined up on the left side, 4 wide receivers up. Play action here. Stallrecht's going to roll out to his left. Pump fakes a little bit, lowers a shoulder, calls his own number, gains a couple yards there. They're actually going to call that 2nd and 1. Hard to see the sticks from our vantage point, but nice gain there for Stallrecht. Man in motion for the Tigers. They're going to sweep him across, but he slips and falls on the play. Turf Monster got him right there. That was looking like a really nice play. It probably might have been a touchdown if the grass didn't stop him there, but nonetheless going to be 3rd down for the Tigers. It's unfortunate trying to cut on this turf. Sometimes those pellets aren't kind to you. Sun blinding the Huskies on this side. Huskies looking directly into it. Tigers trying to look back into the sun to get their play call, but in about another 20, 30 minutes, that sun won't be a factor anymore as the handoff goes over to Austin Whittick off the right side. And it looks like that's going to be close to the 1st down.
There was a North player who slid off of him as though he was a fly slipping on the top of a buttered roll. And he's going to dive ahead and get the 1st down. It'll be 1st down and goal to go.
They are going to call it a Tiger 1st down there. Quick measurement from the referees there, and they are going to move the sticks, so now it's going to be 1st and goal for the Tigers. One thing about this Tigers team is that the drive and determination is not lacking. There's been competition at a number of positions. We just saw Whittick get the 1st down. We mentioned that running back room is stacked. A little bit of competition there between Hepner and Whittick as that pass is incomplete. Target intended was Aiden Eckert on the slant there. Nonetheless, competition amongst the receiver rooms, the running back room on defense, that's really fueled this Tigers team to be their best throughout the offseason, throughout their first practices of the year, and try to really, really all be at their best as they start off the 2024 campaign. 2nd and 5 here for the Tigers. Handoff to Whittick up the middle. He's going to push in, and he is across with some help from his fellow comrades wearing orange. And that is going to be another Tiger touchdown. Austin Whittick gets the call there. Tigers take a 2-score game. 2-score lead, I should say. Austin Whittick, the 5'10 sophomore. Didn't get as much run last week as Joe Hepner, but he gets his number called tonight, and he converts. Tigers early on in control of this one. Kick is up from number 85, Evan Fognan. That one's up and good. So the Tigers taking control, already up 2 scores, 14-0 here in New Richmond. We'll take a quick timeout. You're watching high school football on Zaleski Sports.
You're tuned in to Better Halves. Mike, what are you looking for?
Skip, I'm not getting older. I'm getting better. I still got big plans for my life and my Medicare.
I know exactly what you want from Medicare. Same as all the other guys. Me!
Hey, Mike, I'm Sheila from security, and I'm just like you. In fact, I'm from your neighborhood, and I've got a Medicare plan that treats you like you.
Did it just get better in here?
Welcome back to New Richmond, the home of the Tigers, where the home team leads 14-0. Just about 2 minutes left in this first quarter. Quick word from Bruce Orthodontics. Bruce Orthodontics provides comprehensive orthodontic care for patients of all ages. They're now accepting new patients at their Marshfield office and accept most insurances. At Bruce Orthodontics, they're changing lives one smile at a time. Call their Marshfield office to set up a free consultation today. Ty Schaff on the return for the Huskies finds an edge up the right side, but he's taken down at about the 39. Abe Monson, the all-BRC defensive back, on the tackle there. So North has not been in this position yet this season. They obviously trailed last week and lost the game, but early on in the game last week, the Huskies were the ones in control. So now their backs are against the wall early. They cannot let this one get out of hand. They got to find something and capture what they found last week on offense tonight. First down, ball on the 39 for the Huskies. We'll see what McCracken is able to muster up here on offense for the Huskies. Snap handed off to Bean. Tries to get through, but he's going to be taken down behind the sticks for a short loss. Second down now for the Huskies. Tigers have come out with high energy tonight, and that's something that's been noticed amongst this Tigers squad early on in the season, in their scrimmages, in their practices. It's been evident that all of these guys are ready to come out here and play football at a high level. Nobody's lacking any energy, any effort as far as we've seen so far from the Tigers, and that's showing tonight with their early lead. Second down for the Huskies. Fakes the handoff again. End around for Solberg, but the Tigers swallow him up again. Big loss there. That was number 17, Hunter Byer, the junior defensive back, on the tackle for the Tigers. It's going to be third, and the scoreboard says 12 now for the Huskies. Looking more like, I was going to say it's about 15, 16. They're going to call it third and 16 now, backed up to about the 37. As the clock ticks away on the first quarter, but the Huskies trying to figure out what to do here. Taking their time. That play clock's got to be winding down here. And the Huskies are going to call a timeout to avoid a delay of game penalty. Matt McGinnis calls his first of the game. We'll call a timeout as well from New Richmond. You're watching high school football on Zaleski Sports.
Bauer & Feind has been based in Marshfield since 1955. And if you're in business that long, you're obviously doing many things right. We always focus on selling world-class products, backing it up with world-class customer support.
Working with Bauer & Feind Business Technologies has been a pleasure. We have staff on call that we can call if we ever have issues, and the printer usability has been really easy, user-friendly.
Give us a call, visit our website. We'd be happy to come in, talk to you. Maybe there's a way we can help you save some money and work more efficiently.
Welcome back to New Richmond. Huskies have a third and long, very long, to go here to keep their offense on the field as the first quarter winds down. Third and 16, ball on the 33 for Peyton McCracken and his offense. McCracken steps back, looking right, short throw on the ground, and it's going to be incomplete. Intended target there. It's number 14, Nick Tyson, but bad throw there from McCracken, and it's going to be another trip to the sideline for this Huskies offense as the punt team's going to come out. Another short drive by this offense. Just really no momentum on that side of the ball for the Huskies tonight. It looking like a completely different team from what we saw early on last week against Menominee. Solberg, the punter here for the Huskies, going to try to make something happen and limit field position for the Tigers that they've been able to get on the last couple drives. Punt's going to fall about the 45, roll out of bounds at the 44. Only about 12 seconds or so left here in the first quarter. This is the first time in this game that the Tigers are going to be behind the 50-yard line to start a drive. First couple drives they were gifted by that fumble from Levante Bean, and then a brilliant kick return set them up in great field position for their second touchdown. They started that drive in the red zone after another penalty on a late hit as well. So Tigers little further to go, but still prime field position for them here as they're just shy of midfield. About one more play here for the first quarter. It's going to be a jet sweep over to the left. Huskies swallow him up. It's a wide receiver, Ethan Panic. As time expires on the first quarter, they will flip the field and we will go the other way as we go into a timeout. Tigers lead 14-0 here in New Richmond. You're watching high school football on Zaleski Sports.
Yeah, and you think about all the different techniques he's got to have in his repertoire, right? All the arrows in his quiver, and he's got all of them here today.
I mean, medium well. Do you want it rare? Special orders, pickles, no pickles, ketchup, no ketchup.
You know, what we're seeing here, Paul, the spatula control is unreal.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where he's got absolutely no beef. He's just focused on doing his job. Yeah, I mean, without these cooks, everyone would just truly be fried.
Welcome back to New Richmond. Tigers lead 14-0 as we start the second quarter here at New Richmond Tigers Stadium. New Richmond flips the field. They're just shy of midfield. This is their worst field position that I just mentioned before the break as the Tigers started in the red zone on the last drive and at about the 35-yard line on the first drive. But we'll see if the Tigers can continue the momentum that they've had, and it looks just like it as a man is off and running, and he is long gone. That is Joe Hepner with the touchdown run. 53-yard touchdown for Joe Hepner. Tigers in command of this one and running away with it early on in this game. Huskies just don't look like they have much life right now. They already look like they're down for the count. Tigers taking control, capitalizing on every opportunity here as the kick is about to go up from Evan Fognan here. And that one's up and good. So early on in this one, just into the second quarter, Tigers already up 3 touchdowns, 21-0 on the Eau Claire North Huskies. We'll go to a quick break. You're watching high school football on Zaleski Sports.
Welcome to Bruce Orthodontics, where we provide comprehensive orthodontic care to patients of all ages. We are now accepting new patients, and we accept most insurances.
Orthodontics is much more than just a job to me. It is my passion and my life. What separates us from other orthodontists is constant continuing education for myself and my staff, compassion, and dedication. Here at Bruce Orthodontics, we change lives one smile at a time. I'd love the opportunity to meet you and transform your smile.
Call us to set up your free consultation today.
Welcome back to New Richmond. Tigers big lead early on in this one over the Eau Claire North Huskies, 21-0. Coming off a Joe Hepner 53-yard touchdown run on the last drive. Hepner able to just use his speed to get up the middle untouched up the left side, and the Tigers are running away with this one. Huskies have zero momentum right now. Looking to change that as Ty Schaft gets the return, but he's taken down at about the 25-yard line. This is looking like the Tiger team that we saw last year that went 10-2, went to level 3 in the WIAA playoffs. There were a few question marks around this team actually coming into the season. One preseason poll predicted the Tigers to finish 6th out of 7th in the BRC, even after finishing 3rd a year ago. But that's really given the Tigers motivation to be better coming into the year. Other teams in the conference have more returning players than the Tigers, but a lot of the returning players are the key ones, the key skill guys for the Tigers, and those are the guys that are making an impact early on in this game. So Levante Bean takes it up for a nice run there for a first down for the Huskies. So nice chunk yardage play there for the Huskies to try and flip the momentum on this game. First and 10 now, ball up to the 25, 26, 27-yard line. Hard hit there by Dennis Rock. Dove for the tackle to take down Levante Bean, and it's going to be second down now for the Huskies. Head coach Matt McGinnis talked about coming into the season, you can only hang your hat on last year for so long. Last year picking up 3 wins. They're slowly getting better as the years go on as he enters his 3rd season as the head coach, but the Huskies think that they can become a contender in a BRC conference that is loaded this year, but so far, they're in the Wisconsin Valley Conference, but so far against a BRC opponent, not great as the pass is unsuccessful there, open to Zach Shipman, Shipman's slow to get up on the sideline. Hard hit coming down for that ball. Shipman slow to get up, kneeling down on the sideline there, and that is crucial for this Huskies offense. That is the last thing they want to see right now. Their leading scorer, leading catcher, leading receiver from last week down on the sideline, and the Huskies now going to be on 3rd down. That was the first aggressive play call we really have seen tonight from Matt McGinnis. It's now going to be 3rd and 10 from the 38 as Solberg comes in motion. Aaron Solberg gets the jet sweep. Able to find some space up the right side. He's well beyond the sticks for the first down, taken down at about the 35-yard line. Expect a heavy dose of Solberg in this game for Eau Claire North if Zach Shipman is unable to go in this one. We'll keep an eye on Zach Shipman to see if he comes back in this game. As we were mentioning before, Matt McGinnis thinks that they can become a contender in this strong Wisconsin Valley Conference. Playing teams that they're formerly rivals against in the BRC at the beginning of the year will surely help them. But so far, not looking like a contender tonight. Down 3 scores early on in this game. 2 backs in the backfield for McCracken. They're going to hand it off to the one on his right, Levante Bean. Short gain there for Levante Bean. Eau Claire North likes to take their time on offense. They look for the play call and take as much time as they need to, as referee's going to stop this one. They're going to send a player off for North. Nick Tyson's going to come off. Blake Burns is going to come in and sub for him. Matt McGinnis is wondering what's going on with that call. Maybe an equipment issue, or looked like he hit his head on that play potentially and need to come off for a play. Typical WIAA protocol to send a guy off in those types of scenarios. Time for a quick word while we wait from Mancino's Grinder and Pizza. Mancino's Grinder and Pizza is locally owned and operated and has been a family tradition for over 27 years. For the best hot sandwich in town, grab a grinder at Mancino's, conveniently located off of Highway 53 and Claremont Avenue in Eau Claire. Levante Bean gets the handoff, but he's taken down quickly by the Tigers contingent. It's like 42. Javen Holzbauer on the tackle there for the Tigers. It's going to be 3rd down and 8 for the Huskies. Huskies were a strong 3rd down converting team a year ago. They were strong at it last week in the first game against Menominee. If there's anything to point to in this Huskies offense, it would be their ability to come up clutch on 3rd down scenarios. Potential equipment issue there. What we're seeing for Nick Tyson. So he tried to come back in the game again, but he was disallowed. Quick throw in the flat. Catch is made by the Huskies. Zach Shipman back in the game. Good to see him back after coming off gingerly. It's his first catch of the game. They're going to look to get him going early on in this one and going into the second half here. That had to be the game plan for the Tigers coming in, was to stop that man after how successful he was tearing up the Mustangs secondary a week ago. So now the Huskies are in no man's land. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do. Matt McGinnis is going to decide what he wants to do as well and just needs a little bit more time. So with that, we're going to take a quick break. You're watching high school football on Zaleski Sports.
Get more sales, more customers, more employees, more community support. Let Zaleski Sports help you today. Our advertising rates are less than what you have in your pocket now. People just like you watching this broadcast are your next customer or team member. Plus, you'll have the satisfaction of making sure that our light continues to shine on these student athletes. Use the phone in your hand. Email us now.
Welcome back to New Richmond. Tigers have a 21-0 lead. Just over 8 minutes left in the second quarter in the first half. Huskies trying to figure out what they're going to do here. They're in this no man's land scenario where it's too long to kick but too short to punt. McCracken is going to come out in the shotgun. So they're going to try to go for it here on 4th down. Matt McGinnis, nothing to lose at this point, down big. They're going to try to get some aggressive play calling going here and see if it pays off. McCracken steps back, throws up the middle. Ben Metler is long gone, and what a brilliant play call from Matt McGinnis to get Metler free for the Husky touchdown. Huskies on the board here in New Richmond. We saw that paying off last week for the Huskies, the aggressive play calling. Matt McGinnis not afraid to put his foot in the ground. He had had enough. He wanted to flip the momentum, and the Huskies did just that. Great play from Ben Metler there.
This is the producer, Colin, kind of chiming in. You might notice a little bit of irregular formation on the field right there as they move back to the field goal formation. That's kind of a new phenomenon we've kind of seen take over in both college football and high school football. That's called the swinging gate formation. And it's just kind of meant to confuse the defense, make them have to worry about the extra point rather than just going out there and expecting just to try to block it or whatnot. This adds a different level of maybe trickery, potential trickery, that the defense has to worry about. So that's all you're seeing there if you notice that, a little bit of that irregular formation.
Kick is up and good for the Huskies. Huskies on the board here from New Richmond. Tigers still lead 21-7. You're watching high school football on Zaleski Sports.
You know, Paul, what we're looking for today first is that basic shopper, the one that's going to go for fruit that's in season right now, because those are the easy picks, the raspberry, the strawberry, the blueberry. But the experts, the one who are going to get the job done today and shine bright on a day like today, those are the ones shopping for the mangoes.
And when you think about vegetables at the grocery store, really there's a lot at stake, because at this point your next stop is the meat market. You don't want to be chicken when you go ahead and pick out your vegetables. You got to make sure you got the right pairing.
You know, when you double clutch on your list, that's when things quickly spiral out of control.
Welcome back to New Richmond. Huskies on the board now, but the Tigers, still hold a 21-7 lead. Eau Claire North trying to claw back into this one and get some points before the half, and they did just that on a very aggressive 4th and 5 call from Matt McGinnis. And the Huskies offense to get Ben Metler the long TD catch on the slant route to put the Huskies on the board. Huskies were in that territory where you never really know what they're going to do. Do you pin them deep on a pooch punt, or do you go for it on fourth down and see what happens, and it paid off for him that time. Kick is up for Solberg, and it's going to be kicked into the end zone, so that'll be a touchback, and Tigers will start their own 20-yard line here. Quick word from Culligan Water. Culligan Water specializes in all of your water softener, drinking water, and water filtration systems. You can count on Culligan to keep your water pure and healthy with unparalleled service and convenient delivery options. That is Culligan Water. So this is the first real response that the Tigers will have to deal with in this game. Tigers have come out. This is really reverse of what we saw a week ago from the Huskies. It was the Huskies that came out and scored on their first 3 drives a week ago. This week, it's the team that the Huskies are playing. The Tigers have scored on their first 3 drives. Stallreck hands it off on first down to Austin Whittick. Cuts up the left side on the left hash. Great jukes, great moves from Austin Whittick there. That's a Tigers first down. Austin Whittick, the 5'10", 178-pound sophomore, showing off his speed there. Joe Hepner already with a touchdown. Both running backs with a pair of touchdowns, with a touchdown each, I should say, in this game. Running back by committee here as it's picked off by Ty Schaff. And suddenly, the Huskies have life in this game. Stallreck with a short throw, potential miscommunication there, and it's the captain, Ty Schaff, with the interception. It's the first pick of the year for Eau Claire North. Huskies get the ball back. Wow. Great diving play there from Ty Schaff, the senior captain on this Husky defense. 5'11" senior. He's the one who made a lot of plays last year, had 8 tackles last week. Huskies have been struggling to force turnovers over the last couple of years. That's a welcoming sight if you're a Husky fan to see that happen, especially against an offense that has been humming in the first part of this game. So the Huskies now have the ball on the 40-yard line. McCracken, not much rest there. They're going to look to keep this momentum up. As Levante Bean up the middle finds some space, taken down about the 45, and suddenly it just feels like something has shifted here in New Richmond. The Huskies have found another gear. Whatever Matt McGinnis told those guys going into the second quarter, something happened. They found a spark. And now the Huskies are in plus territory here. First down here for the Huskies on the 45. They're going to hand it off to the hot hand, Levante Bean. Getting a lot of work tonight. Might as well feed it while he's hot. It'll be second down here for the Huskies.
Richmond band down on the field, off to our right. They set up on the track here, and they need to because there's not a spot to be in the grandstand, the metal grandstand.
Second down and 10 is what they're going to call here as the Huskies away to play call. Under 7 minutes now in the first half. Shotgun here from McCracken, per usual. Quick throw out to his right. And Ben Metler is there on the catch. He's taken down at about the 41-yard line, so that'll be a gain of about 4 yards there for the Huskies, and it'll be third down. This Huskies team, tighter, closer bond amongst the upper and younger, lower classmen this season. They talked about in the past there's been a little bit of a division between the young kids and the older kids in this program, but Matt McGinnis has really tried to bring these guys together this season, and it's paying off with how well that their offense has played over the last couple of weeks. And when you have that kind of chemistry and energy amongst the team, it can flip a switch at any moment. Levante Bean takes the handoff here for another short gain. And they are right back in about the same position that they were on the last drive, so you'd expect Matt McGinnis to keep his guys on the field here as they head to fourth down. As the camera's back up, here we go. Nick Stelrich hands it off to Whittick. Whittick comes up the right side, gets around the edge, tries to find some space. Huskies finally take him down at about the 36-yard line. So we got our camera feed back now. Here we go. Austin Whittick up the middle for another first down. Quick no-huddle play.
Hip impingement and hip labral tears are common causes of hip and groin pain and are often the result of repetitive use from crouching sports or trauma. Today, we are visiting Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Dr. Carlson, a partner with Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, is in the forefront of using a newer procedure called hip arthroscopy, which allows minimally invasive access to a joint and treatments to problems never addressed before. Using hip arthroscopy, Dr. Carlson is able to repair tissue without dislocating the hip and without replacing it.
Hip arthroscopy is where a surgeon takes a camera on the end of a long wand, which we call a scope, and through a small poke hole incision in your skin, delivers that scope into a joint. In this particular case, we're talking about hip arthroscopy, where that scope would be put in the hip joint. The hip joint first has to be dislocated or the ball and socket pulled apart. When that's pulled apart, we can access the joint and look around and do the work we're talking about doing. Once inside the joint, through other portals, we call them, those poke holes that we use to access the joint, we can use other instruments, again on the end of a long wand, to perform the work inside the joint. Things like repairing the cartilage rim of the socket, called the labrum, fixing cartilage defects or problems on the head of the ball or the lining of the socket, repairing tissue around the hip, such as ligaments or capsule, repairing tendons that attach to the hip, or releasing them if need be, depending on the particular problem.
Dr. Carlson's goal is to eliminate the segment of untreated patients or patients with delayed treatment who have curable hip pathology, educating potential patients and their providers that these symptoms are not things they need to live with, or that they are not from their back or groin pulls or early arthritis. Few orthopedic surgeons are operating on hips through a scope because it is a newer and technically difficult surgery. Therefore, certain diagnoses may be missed by physicians not familiar with these newer treatment options.
Patients I see with hip joint pain that can be fixed and not just replaced can range from their mid-teens or younger teens to 50, 60 years old. In the past, patients who had labral tears in their hip were told that they may have some pre-arthritis or an early arthritic problem. They may be told that they were just prone to frequent groin pulls.
All right, welcome back to New Richmond. We apologize, everybody, for the inconvenience, troubleshooting a camera issue there to get you back up to speed. The Huskies able to get out of that one scot-free. A missed kick by the Tigers. Turns it over on down for the Huskies deep in their own territory. Huskies going to try to put something on the board here going into the end of the first half. Couple shots to the end zone there by the Tigers on the end of that last drive, but they ended up trying to go for a kick, but it was unsuccessful after a strong drive downfield by the Tigers. Under 2 minutes to go now. Peyton McCracken trying to speed up his offense here. We saw some extra speed from the New Richmond offense on the last drive. Huskies trying to do the same in the 2-minute drill here. McCracken throws it up the middle on the slant. Pass was incomplete. Intended for Zach Shipman. Tight coverage there by the Tigers defense. And that's Abe Monson, the all-BRC defensive back from a year ago. Second and 10 now for the Huskies.
Moving on, second down and 10 from their own 35 for North.
Ball's on the 35-yard line. Trips on the right side. Man's going to come in motion for the Huskies. Check down. Ben Metler gets the check down, but he's snuffed by a pack of Tigers at about the line of scrimmage. That'll be third down and 10 now for Eau Claire North.
1:27 to go.
As the clock continues to tick here towards the end of the first half. Interesting to see what North will do here, if they're going to try to get aggressive and make something happen, or if they're just going to try to run this clock down and get to the end of the half. As McCracken tries to escape, he's getting chased down, taken down out of bounds. Cole Stevens on the tackle there for New Richmond, and it's going to be fourth down for the Huskies, and I don't think that's what the Huskies wanted, was to try and stop that clock right there. That's just going to give New Richmond more time to try and make something happen coming down the field. So Matt McGinnis not happy with that one. You can see him all the way from our vantage point on the other sideline. Hoping for a little bit better awareness right there from his guys, from his starting quarterback. So Aaron Solberg back to punt now. Way high snap. It's over his head. He's going to try to still get it off. He's able to line drive it up, and it's rolling, and somehow it's actually going to be pretty good for the situation for the Huskies. It rolls past midfield to about the 47-yard line, so Solberg narrowly escapes a very tough mistake for the Huskies. Able to get it across midfield on about a 40-yard punt there after the high snap. That could have been serious trouble for the Huskies if Solberg wasn't able to get that one off. It was nearly blocked. And that's a kicking background from the Solberg family. A lot of soccer players in that family for the Solbergs. That's what they're known for in Eau Claire. Solberg able to come up clutch and get his foot on the ball there to at least give the Huskies some kind of hope here that the Tigers will not score on this drive going into halftime. Stallrecht hands it off to Hepner. Hepner jukes to his right, tries to find space, looking for an edge. He's on the right sideline, taken down at about the 35. That's Zach Shipman on the tackle, and that is a big pickup for the Tigers as they are into what they would probably call field goal range, although they just did miss one from right about there on the last drive. That's a Tiger first down. Ball now on the 25. Tigers looking to take advantage of that mistake and the good field position and score. Make this a 3-possession game, again, going into halftime. 3 receivers out to the left of Stallrecht. Handoff again to Hepner. This time not as successful. He's swallowed up by a group of Huskies there. Tackle made by number 98, Jaden Andrews for Eau Claire North. It looks like there's an injured player down for New Richmond. And there'll be a timeout given to New Richmond for the injured players, so we're going to take one quick as well. You're watching high school football on Zaleski Sports.
You're tuned in to Better Halves. Mike, what are you looking for?
Skip, I'm not getting older. I'm getting better. I still got big plans for my life and my Medicare.
I know exactly what you want from Medicare. Same as all the other guys. Me!
Hey, Mike, I'm Sheila from Security, and I'm just like you. In fact, I'm from your neighborhood, and I've got a Medicare plan that treats you like you.
Did it just get better in here?
Culligan Water delivers. From your first call, to your first sip, to your first soak. Culligan, give us a tap. The only water that comes with a van.
Welcome back to New Richmond. Christian Roberts was the offensive lineman who was injured on the play there for the Tigers, but he walked off under his own power. Always great to see. Second down on the 25 for this Tigers offense now as they look to go into halftime with a 3-possession lead here. Score their 4th touchdown of this contest. Hepner steps up to the right hip of Stallrecht. North showing pressure here. Stallrecht throws deep into the end zone, just out of reach of Aiden Eckert. As the Tigers going for the home run play there, but unsuccessful. Reggie Larson not afraid to call the aggressive play here in this type of a scenario. About 20 seconds left here in the half. This is 3rd down now on the 25 for the Tigers. Reggie Larson did not call the timeout because of the injured player, but they still have 2 left, so coach is being hesitant with his timeouts here. They still have a couple to work with, so we'll see if they utilize them or if they try to get aggressive here and get the ball into the black paint that they call the end zone here at Tiger Stadium. Snap, quick throw on the screen. Nowhere to go for number 13, Alex Ane, the senior, his first catch of the game for the Tigers. It's going to be 4th and 10 now. Stopped on the line of scrimmage there by the Huskies, so we'll see what they decide. Looks like New Richmond is probably going to go for it here. They're going to gather up. The field goal was unsuccessful on the last try, so look for the Tigers to try and make something happen here and put some points on the board. Want to make sure we get in a quick word from Fleet Farm. Once again, Fleet Farm's bucket sales going on now. Buy a 5-gallon Fleet Farm bucket and get 15% off everything you can fit inside of the bucket. Shop the best prices guaranteed today in-store or online at fleetfarm.com. Another word from Jesperson Group. Whether you're buying or selling, turn to the team at Jesperson Group, Century 21 affiliated. The Jesperson Group has a pulse on the local real estate market. It can help you with both existing homes and new builds and help you through each step of the process. Century 21, search Century 21 Jesperson Group to see current listings. Then step confidently into the real estate world knowing you have the Jesperson Group by your side. They make the home buying and selling process simple, not stressful. That's what you get with Jesperson Group, Century 21 affiliated. 4th and 9, now ball on the 24. 2 wideouts on each side as Joe Hepner steps up to the right hip of Stallrecht. Stallrecht, plenty of time in the backfield. Everybody going to the end zone. Stallrecht rolls out to his left under pressure. He's going to have to take it himself. Runs out of bounds and unsuccessful there, but 5 seconds there. They're actually going to say that he got the first down. I thought he stepped out a lot earlier than that, but we're waiting on a measurement here. That ball is sitting right next to the first down marker. It looked like to me he stepped out earlier, but they are going to bring out the chain gang and see what this call is. 5 seconds left. 5.3 is what it's showing on the scoreboard here for the Tigers. But they are not going to give it to him. Very, very fortunate break there for the Huskies. Refs don't want to give New Richmond another chance there as that ball was short. And the Huskies are going to come back out for one more offensive play before we head into the half. Everybody was going to the end zone there. It was just about go big or go home there for the Tigers. Stallrecht was under pressure by Bear Wally on that play for the Huskies. As McCracken kneels it down, and the time is going to run out on the end of the first half here in New Richmond. Tigers take a 21-7 lead in a halftime. Strong start for the home team here in New Richmond. We are going to send it to our halftime show now. When we come back, we'll have second half action here from New Richmond. You're watching high school football on Zaleski Sports.
Welcome back to football and welcome to week 1. It's halftime of your game. Jason Zaleski here, folks, and thank you so much for watching today's broadcast. And we'll have you back into the broadcast booth in no time as we get ready for the start of the second half. But for now, you get me, and buckle up. Here we go. Got a couple updates for you. First, I want to talk about these Thursday games that you're watching here tonight, and let's go through the schedule. If you are looking for another game to put on a different device, and that's always my recommendation to you, because, of course, we give you a whole smorgasbord of football games, 16 games on Zaleski Sports this opening week of Wisconsin high school football, and 5 of the 16 are all happening right now. So let's take you through those. As far as what the schedule is, again, my advice to you, get another device, get yourself a tablet, a laptop, a phone, go grab your neighbor's phone, take your wife's computer, what have you, put one on the big screen up in the living room, while you're sitting on the Davenport, right? You got your Kodak next to you, you got your Coke, you're all set, right? All right, here we go. It's an interesting lineup here on this Thursday night. As I said, 5 games tonight, so 10 schools, 10 football teams. And of the 10, only 2 conference winners from a year ago. So what that means to me is 8 of these 10, 80% of our lineup tonight, teams looking to be better than they were last year. You know, one of the mile markers you set out on an organized sport or even an individual sport is a conference championship, right? I want to be the best among my peers, and a conference championship is that first goal as we look at season goals. And again, 80% of these teams did not have that last year. And with the season anew right now, that mark is still on their goal, of course, as we play here in week 1. So let's talk about the games a little bit. Menominee and Eau Claire North, 2 teams without a conference championship a year ago, looking to be a little bit better this year. Teams in different conferences. We've got conference realignments all over the state this year. Eau Claire North moving from the Big Rivers to what is still being named the Wisconsin Valley Conference. I'll go through some conferences here a little bit, but and then Menominee staying in what is titled the Big Rivers, but so without the 2 big Eau Claire schools, North and Memorial both being launched over into the Wisconsin Valley Conference with Wausau West, DC Everest, Stevens Point, Wisconsin Rapids, and Marshfield. That is now the Wisconsin Valley Conference in 2024. So, both Eau Claire North and Menominee with new conferences they'll participate in this year, and maybe new hope for a conference championship. They battle right now on ZaleskiSports.com. Marshfield and New Richmond. So I mentioned Marshfield. New Richmond remains in what is titled the Big Rivers Conference. Marshfield remains in what is titled the Wisconsin Valley Conference. But of course, that Valley Conference now no longer, at least the Central Wisconsin Division I schools, no longer part of the Fox Valley Association. So the schools I mentioned before, again, Marshfield, Wisconsin Rapids, Stevens Point, DC Everest, Wausau West, join with Eau Claire North and Eau Claire Memorial. So both New Richmond and Marshfield, minus a conference championship in 2023, looking to be a little bit better as they start the season tonight. Game live on ZaleskiSports.com. River Falls and Wisconsin Rapids Lincoln. So again, there we go. River Falls stays in what's called the Big Rivers Conference. Wisconsin Rapids Lincoln stays what's called the Wisconsin Valley Conference. I went through those alignments here a couple times, so I'll stop repeating it. Both with room to grow, both looking for a conference championship in 2024. All these teams I've mentioned so far, Menominee, Eau Claire North, New Richmond, Marshfield, River Falls, Wisconsin Rapids, Lincoln, all with respectable seasons a year ago, and room to grow, right? We had this thing, and this is kind of the coach's talk before the season began. Hey gang, returning juniors, sophomores, welcome freshmen. We had a nice season last year. We want to build on that. We're looking forward to a conference championship. So those 6 schools right there, all playing each other, non-conference football here tonight, but looking to be a little bit better than they were last year. And of course, minus those seniors that were on the teams last year. So that brings us to games 4 and 5 on our schedule tonight. Both have a conference champion from a year ago. First, we start with Rice Lake at DC Everest. Rice Lake, conference champions of the Middle Border Conference a year ago. Now they participate in the Big Rivers Conference. So they travel more south as it is. Not too far, though, most times. And so Rice Lake, a really good team. I'm going to talk about football rankings later, and I've got some information there that will make the Rice Lake fans happy. And I'm sure they already know it. They've got a really good football team coming back in 2024. DC Everest at halftime, no doubt their hands full of the Rice Lake Warriors right now. And then the other, our 5th game, another conference champion, the Stevens Point Panthers, conference champion of the Wisconsin Valley Conference in 2023, looking to repeat in 2024, but they take on the Chippewa Falls Cardinals. So Cardinals stay in what's called the Big Rivers Conference. So again, all non-conference games here tonight. And as we look across the board, right, these are all Wisconsin Valley schools, all playing now Big River schools. So a pretty fun night as far as some cross-conference rivalries going on. Let's just title it the Big Rivers and Wisconsin Valley Showdown. And I'll put some headlines out tomorrow morning on how that record went. Again, 5 games, and we'll see who comes out on top in this Wisconsin Valley Big River Showdown here tonight. For Big River schools, welcome newcomers. For Wisconsin Valley schools, welcome newcomers. And we are going to have our load full of both of those conferences throughout the season here on Zaleski Sports. So those are the 5 games right now. You're watching one of them. Again, my advice to you, my request, my ask, my opinion, pick another one. Pick one more. I listed all of them again. Stevens Point, Chippewa Falls, Menominee, and Eau Claire North, New Richmond, Marshfield, River Falls, Wisconsin Rapids, Lincoln, Rice Lake, DC Everest. Pick another one you like. Pick one that sounds interesting and turn it on right now. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And when I come back, we're going to talk to you about our magazine, Zaleski Sports Headlines, all that coming up next. Get more sales, more customers, more employees, more community support. Let Zaleski Sports help you today. Our advertising rates are less than what you have in your pocket now. People just like you watching this broadcast are your next customer or team member. Plus, you'll have the satisfaction of making sure that our light continues to shine on these student athletes. Use the phone in your hand. Email us now. Halftime show continues here on Zaleski Sports. Jason Zaleski here. Hello, friends. Zaleski Sports headlines. Here we go. This is edition 15 right here, Marshfield Area Magazine, and edition 1, Medford Area Magazine there. And you can get all your football previews for free by picking up that free weekly magazine at retail locations all around the area. Blenker, Auburndale, Hewitt, Marshfield, Stratford, Spencer, Neelsville, Greenwood, Thorpe, Withee, Abbotsford, Stetsonville, and Medford. A free weekly magazine, all color, full color, lots of pictures, high school sports, and swimming, golf, tennis, cross country, volleyball, and of course football, all in our Zaleski Sports magazine. That is free to pick up weekly at those at all those retail locations. Check Facebook at Zaleski Sports for specific retail locations. We will talk to you next. Rankings. Football rankings. I'll tell you about those in just a minute. Get more sales, more customers, more employees, more community support. Let Zaleski Sports help you today. Our advertising rates are less than what you have in your pocket now. People just like you watching this broadcast are your next customer or team member. Plus, you'll have the satisfaction of making sure that our light continues to shine on these student athletes. Use the phone in your hand. Email us now. Zaleski Sports VIP members, they've already seen these rankings, and you can too. Just $5 a month. Go to ZaleskiSports.com, click VIP. I'm going to give you all of them right here. But if you want to see them, read them, look at them again, all found at ZaleskiSports.com, and just click VIP for that. We give you rankings, football, volleyball, special news updates, features, other fun stuff, and it's just $5 a month at ZaleskiSports.com. So let's start in Division 7 and our top 5. Well, we'll give you a sneak preview. We'll give you the top 5. Number 5 in D7, Potosi-Cassville, followed by River Ridge, Boyceville, Blackhawk Warren, and Edgar. The returning champs start this season here at Zaleski Sports at number 1. In Division 6, Auburndale, Mondovi, Reedsville, Westby, and Grantsburg. In Division 5, Wrightstown, Kewanee, St. Mary Springs, Darlington, and back-to-back champs Stratford start this year at Division 5, ranked number 1 here on Zaleski Sports. In Division 4, Ellsworth, Columbus, Aquinas, St. Croix Central, and Lodi tops the charts in D4. Division 3, Grafton, Port Washington, Mount Horeb, Barneveld, Lux Casco, and Notre Dame Academy, number 1 in Division 4. Division 3, New Richmond, Sun Prairie East, Kaukauna, Badger, and Rice Lake. I want to talk to you about Kaukauna and Notre Dame coming up in just a minute. That's a juicy one on our Friday schedule. And I had those out of order here. Division 1, that was Division 2. Division 1, Neenah, Wanakee, Kimberly, Marquette, and the Franklin Sabres top the charts in Division 1. Those are our rankings. Again, Zaleski Sports VIP. We will quickly turn in just a couple weeks to actual seeds. We'll give you those seed previews. That is using our formula based on the WIAA seeding formula. So we no longer give opinions. In just a couple weeks, you will get stone cold hard facts on your favorite high school sporting teams. Friday games, we'll talk about those coming up. Get more sales, more customers, more employees, more community support. Let Zaleski Sports help you today. Our advertising rates are less than what you have in your pocket now. People just like you watching this broadcast are your next customer or team member. Plus, you'll have the satisfaction of making sure that our light continues to shine on these student athletes. Use the phone in your hand. Email us now. All right, gang, 11 games coming up on Friday. Wow. All 7 o'clock kickoffs. Again, we give you 16 total here in opening week for free. All you got to do is get to YouTube. You can watch for free with professional play-by-play Other great stuff, graphics. We give you the best that we can offer. We give it to you 16 times this opening week. Here's a schedule for Friday. Eau Claire Memorial is at Hudson. Wrightstown is at Wapaka. Stanley Boyd at Colby. New Lisbon at Neelsville Granton. Amherst at St. Mary Catholic. Auburndale at Spencer Columbus. Mosinee at Stratford. Get a first look at the two-time Division 6 state champions, now in Division 5, the Stratford Tigers. Shiocton at Iola Scandinavia. Edgar begins to defend their title, Division 7 title, at Ladysmith. Oak Creek is at Waterford. And a really good game, the juicy one, right? Kaukauna and Notre Dame. We've got Kaukauna ranked number 3 in Division 2. And then we've got Notre Dame ranked number 1 in Division 3. So 2 heavyweights going at it Friday on Zaleski Sports. Again, watch all games live. You go to right here, YouTube. You can type in Zaleski Sports. You go to ZaleskiSports.com. You can launch your game from there. Whatever suits your fancy. Social media, we've got direct links to all the games. Whatever you want, you can find the games. Just go to the place that you like most and click the game from there. So those are 11 coming tomorrow. Highlights of select games this week will be found on Facebook. You go to your favorite Facebook Zaleski Sports channel, and we give you the best 5 minutes that we found during any of these games, and we show you those highlights every weekend during the football, and then all week long once all the other sports join in, which is coming up soon. As a matter of fact, let me give you some tidbits on next week's schedule.
The Tigers have the 21-7 lead as we are getting set to start the third quarter. My name's Evan Hong alongside my producer and commentator Colin McLowry. It has been an interesting game here in New Richmond. The Tigers hold a 2-possession lead. Elsewhere around the league, we'll talk about some BRC scores and some others here, some Wisconsin Valley scores. Chippewa Falls leads 39-0 over Eau Claire Memorial at right about halftime, so a big lead for Chippewa Falls there. Wausau West up 16-14 against Hudson at halftime. Rice Lake, of course, yesterday, they won the game 44-0 over Wisconsin Rapids Lincoln. A few other games played yesterday as well before the weather could get in. Menominee beat Marshfield 35-10. That game was called in the third quarter due to impending weather. Spash beat Superior 43-0 yesterday as well. So a big win for that Wisconsin Valley team over a Big Rivers Conference team. Let's catch you up to speed on how we got here tonight. It was all New Richmond on the first 2 drives. In this one, Levante Bean fumble on the first drive for North setup. Nick Stallreck to a Carter Hickok 4-yard touchdown to give New Richmond the early lead. After a 3-and-out for the Huskies, New Richmond came back and scored again on a touchdown run from Austin Whittick, 5 yards to take a 2-possession lead. Joe Hepner scored a 53-yard touchdown run on the following drive for the Tigers to put the Tigers up 21-0 and take firm control of this game. The Huskies with an answer, though. Ben Metler touchdown catch on a 4th and 5 from Peyton McCracken to cut the deficit to 14 points, and that is where we stand now after some interceptions, missed kicks, nearly blocked punts, and some unsuccessful 4th down tries. We are at 21-7, New Richmond with the lead as we enter the second half here. Huskies going to look to get that defense going as we move into the second half. It's been chunk play after chunk play for the Tigers tonight. They really were able to get into that rhythm earlier on, especially on the first 2 drives. We talked about that. The Tigers definitely wanted to put more points on the board last week. They're only able to score 7 against a Marshfield team that they only held to 6 points. We knew that there was going to be a sense of urgency for the Tigers to come out and score big in this one, and they have done just that. But there was a bit of a momentum shift as we got into the second quarter. About 10 seconds into it, the Huskies scored their first touchdown and started to shake the tectonic plates a little bit here at Tiger Stadium. And the Huskies started to develop momentum. They had a Ty Schaaf interception on Nick Stallreck to try and flip the script, but unable to convert on offense. So if the Huskies can really just get the ball rolling and snowball that momentum into some points, they'll be right back into this game. This is a very competitive game. It wasn't on the first two drives, but overall it was competitive in that second quarter, and it's going to be competitive in the Big Rivers Conference this year. Reggie Larson, the head coach for the Tigers, has talked about how loaded this Big Rivers Conference is going to be this year. It's going to be a dogfight every week, he says. Good conference football, though. That'll set them up well for the playoffs. They reached level 3 a year ago. The Tigers have aspirations to go deeper than that this season. And games like this against former conference foes and against a really good conference in the BRC, where 5 teams were actually predicted to finish ahead of the Tigers in a preseason poll, that's going to be crucial for the Tigers to help prep for the playoffs. Some expectations are for this Tigers team to be a high-caliber playoff team again. Some think that with the lack of returners compared to other teams in the BRC, that it's going to be a bit of a struggle for them. But so far, so good tonight, at least, for the Tigers against the Eau Claire North Huskies. Quick word from Chippewa Valley Orthopedics. Whether you are a professional athlete, weekend warrior, or simply have an aching joint, rest assured that you will receive unsurpassed care delivered with compassion and respect. When you need it most, visit the sports medical experts at Chippewa Valley Orthopedics. So North is going to be kicking off as they receive the ball to start the game, which led to that Levante Bean fumble on the first drive. It's going to be the Tigers that are going to receive the kick. To our left here at New Richmond High School. Great crowd on hand. Always impressed to come out here to New Richmond. Sometimes it's tough to get over here, about an hour, 15-minute drive away west from down I-94 from the Eau Claire area, but always impressed in the size of the school, how beautiful the stadium is, and how great of a crowd comes out to watch New Richmond football. Here comes the boot from Aaron Solberg. Monson's going to return it. Abe Monson for the Tigers, able to find some space up the middle, but unable to break completely free. That tackle made by number 7, Reagan Cruitt. And North giving up another big kick return. Field position has been key for the Tigers tonight. Set up on their first 2 drives in plus territory, and these kick returns have not been kind to the Huskies. Special teams playing a big role in the strength of this Tigers team tonight. As we kick off the second half here, Tigers will get the ball first. Nick Stahlrecht going to look to come out, do the same thing they did on the first drive for the offense in this game, and score on their first offensive drive of the second half. Stahlrecht hands it up the middle. Looks like Austin Whittick there on the carry. First one of the second half, gain of about 3 yards. It'll be second down and 7 for this Tigers team.
Second down and 7 from their own 43-yard line.
Two receivers lined up to the right. Similar formation all game long with the running back lined up on the hip. This running back, Austin Whittick, able to break free for a first down there up the left side. Those formations not changing much. The looks pretty standard from this New Richmond Tigers offense. 2-3 receivers out wide. They line the receiver up right on the side of the quarterback. Huskies looking to pick up on whatever they can right now on this New Richmond offense and find a way to get a stop here as the Tigers march into the enemy territory across midfield. 1st and 10 on the 47. Whittick's going to take it again on the far side. He's hit at about the 45-yard line, so a short gain there for the Tigers.
Looks like that was Jack Orban who got in there, the senior.
It's really been a split backfield tonight for the Tigers. Joe Hepner, of course, with the 53-yard touchdown in the first half. Austin Whittick with a touchdown of his own. Both players getting an even amount of snaps and an even amount of touches here in this game. That's got to be a great sight if you're a New Richmond fan to see 2 running backs coming out of the backfield, both making an impact, none with a greater impact than the other from what we've seen. 2nd and 10. No gain on the last play. Stahlrecht's going to take it himself and gain quite a few. He's taken down at the 30-yard line. That's a design run for the quarterback, and that is a designed first down if you're the Tigers. One thing about Stahlrecht is he can really get moving. That was why they played him a lot last season. As there's an empty backfield here, trips on the far side, 5 wide receiver set here. As the receivers on our near side closest to us motion out. Very, very soft coverage on a wide out to our closest here. Alex Ane, not much over there. They expected to throw it left, and it's thrown over to Austin Wittick for the short gain. It's the first time I believe we've seen a 5 wide receiver set out of the Tigers tonight. So we just talked about seeing some of the same looks. They're coming out showing some different looks here to start the second half. Second and 5 now on the 25. Another march downfield here for New Richmond. Done a really, really nice job of creating those slow, methodical drives tonight. Really outside of that Joe Hepner touchdown in the first half, it's been slow, precise, and measured drives for New Richmond to get downfield. Handoff here to Wittick. And the Huskies are going to swallow him up just beyond the line of scrimmage there. Looks like a gain of, excuse me, not the line of scrimmage, just beyond the 25. It'll be at about the 22. It'll be 3rd and 2 at the 22 now for the Tigers. North loading up the box here. So they're going to run it up the middle with Joe Hepner again. Tough to see from our angle where it's at. It looks like it might be just shy. And it's going to be 4th down and 1. So we'll see what the Tigers want to do here. Reggie Larson, see if he gets aggressive here. Might expect some sort of design quarterback sneak here just to try and get across the plane and get a first down, keep the offense on the field. Reggie Larson looking for his quarterback to tell him the play call. North's going to try to load up the box here, not prevent anything on the line of scrimmage. This play's going to be one in the trenches here. Snap. Fake handoff from Stahlrecht. He's going to roll out. Easy first down, and he's going to get some more. So North expecting the run play up the middle there, and it was a great fake from the Tigers offense there. Stahlrecht calling his own number, gets a first down. Stahlrecht, not sure if we'd call him a dual threat per se, but he has been able to use his legs tonight and move around. We mentioned that was the primary use of him last year while Reese Hitty was the primary man and the primary play caller for this Tiger offense. But Stahlrecht proving that he can do both with his legs and his arms. Empty backfield here. Man in motion. Fake handoff to Wittick. Stahlrecht takes it himself, gets flipped over inside the 5-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal on the 4-yard line. It's looking very, very reminiscent of that first Tigers drive. Wittick's going to take the handoff to the right pylon, and he's in for the Tiger touchdown. 4-yard run from Austin Wittick there. That is his 2nd of the night. And the Tigers extend the lead back to 3 possessions. So it's a 5-yard touchdown run on the first touchdown play for Austin Wittick. It's 4 yards on this one. And hold on, they're calling this one back. I don't know if I saw a flag on the field unless I just missed it up here, but not much of an announcement or communication from the referees there, but they're actually going to call this one back. So Huskies get a break here. They're backed up. The Tigers are backed up now to the 15-yard line. Very similar play from what we saw 2 plays ago. Stahlrecht, play action, going to take it himself. Design run up the middle, lowers his shoulder, takes a hit. Quarterback not afraid to take a hit for New Richmond. And now the Tigers right back in about the same spot they were on that called back touchdown. It's now 3rd and 5, 5 yards to go. So now the referees are waiting for something here. Stoppage of the clock on the scoreboard here. We're not getting a lot of communication up here on our end, but nonetheless, we play on. Tight formation here. Stallrick in the shotgun. Hands it off to Joe Hepner. And he even faked me out. That's going to be a touchdown on the far side. You know the play is good when he fakes out the announcer. And that's going to be a Tiger touchdown. 27-7 is the score now for the Tigers.
And New Richmond back in business. Now Fagan off the extra point for New Richmond.
Extra point up for New Richmond as they went into that open gate formation that Colin was talking about earlier, and that one is up and good. 28-7 now is the score. New Richmond faked out the Huskies, and they faked me out. They're up to 3 scores now. You're watching high school football on Zaleski Sports.
From humble beginnings in 1904, the Wheatrick family has grown Grassland Dairy Products into one of the largest processors of butter in the nation. Based in Greenwood, Wisconsin, the family and its hundreds of employees continue their pursuit of providing high-quality products that can proudly be served in restaurants and homes across America.
Welcome back to New Richmond. Tigers now up 28-7. Just over 6 minutes left here in the third quarter.
6:01 to go in the third quarter. New Richmond leading North.
Brilliant drive there for New Richmond as the kickoff heads down towards the Husky returners. And he's going to be stopped short about the 30-yard line there.
Just about 3-4 years ago, this is a North program before Matt McGinnis took over, that barely had the roster size of a minor league hockey team.
So just like we saw in the first half, Huskies back against the wall again, looking for any ounce of momentum here that they can grab onto to try and get back into this game on the road. We'll see what the Huskies were able to discuss at halftime and come out and do on offense in the second half as the first offensive play goes to Levante Bean up the middle, stop for no gain.
Well, last year, a couple years ago, North broke out of their years-long losing streak. Last year, they got 3 wins and were on the cusp of the playoff, just couldn't get one more win. And then this year, as was evident by what Matt McGinnis told us,
Huskies looking for their first win of the season and looking for their first playoff berth since 1998. It has been that long since the Huskies have made the playoffs. We can remember that it was only just about 3 years ago that they broke their losing streak, of 6 consecutive losing seasons from 2015 to 2021. As a nice gain there for the Huskies on the ground, puts it at about 3rd and 2.
The only thing about this North team, though, they are still young. They have 23 sophomores on the roster this year.
New Richmond, one of the keys coming into this game was to try and put some pressure on the quarterback. They've done a pretty good job of that. There have been a couple plays where Peyton McCracken has been uncomfortable and forced a few incompletions, but talk about pressure on the quarterback. That is what you call pressure on him right there. Big hit. They were looking for a block from the running back there, but number 15 for New Richmond, Jamison Unger, with a big tackle there on McCracken. Right on cue. That's the pressure that the Tigers were looking for there, and it's going to be 4th down and 4 now for the Huskies. Quick 3 and out. And the Huskies slowly running out of time to make something happen and get back into this one.
Solberg on the punt. Stands at his own 22-yard line.
Not a high snap on this one. Much better punt off for Aaron Solberg in this game, but it trickles down the right sideline.
But where did
We're looking for the spot to see where it went out, and it was right at about the 30-yard line. So stayed in until the 30, and then it rolled out. So the Tigers are going to come back out on the field here with 3:50-ish to go. Quick word here from HS Fence Company. HS Fence specializes in chain link, vinyl, wood, and ornamental fencing. They've been providing commercial and residential fencing to the people of Wisconsin for the last 18 years. Contact them today in Fall Creek or at hsfencewi.com. So the Tigers have taken control right back of this game. They're looking to take a stranglehold of it. If they can go up 4 scores here as we approach the end of the third quarter. First down here on the 30 for the Tigers. Snap is handed off to Joe Hepner, and he's going to be driven back, still driven back by the Huskies. Michael Friesen among the tacklers there for Eau Claire North. Second down and 9 now for the Tigers. Second and 9, man in motion. They're going to hand it off to him on the jet sweep. Gain of about 7 yards. That was Ethan Panic on the carry there on the jet sweep. 3rd and 2 now for the Tigers in a third down scenario that they've been able to convert a handful of times tonight. This would be a very, very big stop for the Huskies if they can get this Tigers offense off the field. If they want any chance of shifting the momentum in this. Stallrick fakes the handoff. Quick throw to the right side over to Alex Ani. And that's going to be a first down. So unsuccessful stop there from the Huskies. You can start to sense that the Huskies know that they're running out of time here. Still a lot of ball game left, but they got to capitalize on those third down stops if they want any chance of getting back into this game. The offense has to be on the field. Huskies just look like they don't have as much life as they did last week. You know, last week, first game of the year, everybody's fired up, football's back, you know how it goes, but Huskies just aren't looking like themselves this week. Hepner carries it up the middle, gets about halfway to the first down marker. And you have to start to think if the Huskies are still a little bit disappointed about the outcome of last week, if that is carried over into this week at all. Don't want to speculate too much, but that was a very tough, heartbreaking loss last week. They thought that they had that one in the bag, especially with how they came out in the first half. Did that linger at all into this game? Did that kind of dwindle the confidence out of this Huskies team early on in the year? Pass over to the right side. Screen is over to Aiden Eckert, and he's out of bounds. Past the first down marker, that's going to be a first down for New Richmond. Chain gang's moving down the field as the Tigers stay on the field. New Richmond not wasting much time on these drives, looking to get their offense in that rhythm. And Joe Hepner looking in a rhythm as he gets up to the left side and past the first down marker for another Tiger first down. The run game has been the rock of this offense for the Tigers in this one. Joe Hepner, Austin Wittick, big impact on the ground tonight for the Tigers, and Nick Stallrecht even calling his own number a handful of times and running on his own. That's classic high school football right there, ground and pound. Misdirection, but the ball gets to Hepner on first down here. Gain of about 4 or 5 on that play as the Tigers continue to chip away, and that's going to be the game plan moving forward as we get into the fourth quarter. They're just going to want to try to run that clock down as much as possible while still gaining they just want to chip away a little bit and get, 4 yards, 5 yards, 3 yards, as much as they can to, get past the sticks and keep the offense on the field. 2nd and 5 now on the 25. Starick hands it off to Whittick. Big tackle there. That is Michael Friesen. Big hit, bringing the boom. That's a hit stick if you're a Madden fan. That is a big tackle. Biggest hit of the night. Great play there by Friesen for the Huskies. 3rd down now for the Tigers as this clock runs down. Looks like they're going to let this clock wind down to the end of the 3rd quarter here. They're going to flip the field as the time runs out on the 3rd quarter. Tigers still hold a 3-possession lead after 3. You're watching high school football on Zaleski Sports.
Be part of a Marshfield tradition at Maple Fall Fest, September 14th and 15th. Start each morning with a potato or buttermilk pancake breakfast and shop over 125 handmade arts and craft vendors. Also, make sure to check out the Kids Zone, yummy food court with maple specialties, beer garden, and a comedic grilling show with TV's Mad Dog and Merrill. Don't miss the 32nd Annual Fall Fest, Saturday and Sunday, September 14th and 15th at Wildwood Park and Zoo in Marshfield. Learn more at visitmarshfield.com and follow us on Facebook.
Culligan Water delivers. From your first call to your first sip to your first soak. Culligan, give us a tap. The only water that comes with a van.
Welcome back to New Richmond. Start of the 4th quarter here. Tigers have a 28-7 lead. It'll be 3rd down when they come back on the field. Quick word from Dahlman Insurance. To cover your church, call the Dahlman Insurance Agency for a coverage analysis. Dahlman Insurance covers churches in Wisconsin with Hastings Insurance Company. Online at dahlmaninsurance.com. Dahlman Insurance, come for the rates, stay for the service. Another quick message from Mutual of Wausau. Mutual of Wausau Insurance, protecting homes, farms, and businesses since 1875. Visit mutualofwausau.com to find an agent near you. Another slow, precise, methodical, calculated drive for the Tigers to get downfield here into the red zone, in the red area, on the 20-yard line. 3rd and 6. Starick fakes the handoff, looks out to his left. Pass is caught by Aiden Eckert, looking to stay up. He's going to be close to the sticks here. The clock's going to continue to run. And they're going to give him a 1st down. So the Tigers still on the field here. Huskies defense starting to get tired, starting to get frustrated as they look to get their offense back out on the field. They just can't seem to find a stop tonight. It has been very difficult on this Husky defense. As the Tiger roars here at New Richmond High School Football Stadium. Hand off to Austin Whittick on 1st down, able to find some space into a pile of Huskies. Was looking for a 1st down there, but he's going to be short, and that'll be about a 6-yard gain. We're going to put him at the 9-yard line. Second and 6. Ball on the 9 here for the Tigers. Expect another run play as this clock continues to run. That's exactly what we see as Austin Whittick tries to find a hole. Still pushing, and he's down just shy of the goal line. So it'll be 1st and goal. Ball on the 1-yard line. Tigers primed to pounce again and score. Surpass the 30-point mark in this game. Quick snap, Starick dives over the plane. That is another Tiger touchdown. Nick Starick with the QB sneak and dive over the plane. That is all you need. Sometimes it can be a risky play to dive over with the ball, risking getting it punched out, but successful play there for the Tigers. Scores now 34-7. New Richmond has a stranglehold of this game. Evan Fognan. Kick is up. Extra point is good. He's been perfect from the extra point land tonight. And it is now 35-7. Tigers running away with this one. Tigers are taking off here in New Richmond. You're watching high school football on Zaleski Sports.
Get more sales, more customers, more employees, more community support. Let Zaleski Sports help you today. Our advertising rates are less than what you have in your pocket now. People just like you watching this broadcast are your next customer or team member. Plus, you'll have the satisfaction of making sure that our light continues to shine on these student athletes. Use the phone in your hand. Email us now.
Back here in New Richmond, scores 35-7. About 10.5 minutes left in this contest. The Tigers, man, have they really shown how good this offense can be tonight. 5 touchdowns for this Tigers squad, pulling away from the Huskies. If you're Reggie Larson, this has got to be everything you would have hoped for out of this game. Last week was a close one. A nail-biter in the first game sometimes can be expected. As the kickoff is up here, short kick. Returned at about the 30-yard line, going to be taken up to about the 35. But if you're the Tigers, this is everything you would hope for if you're head coach Reggie Larson, right? We mentioned how close this game was last week against Marshfield. Not much of an offensive rhythm. It was a defensive battle. We really wanted to see the offense fly tonight. If you're a New Richmond fan, you really wanted to just see what they can do, what kind of rhythm they can get into. This was a team that scored a lot of points a year ago and was a true contender to make a deep playoff run. They did get to level 3. They put up 33 points last year on Eau Claire North. They've surpassed that number tonight and put up 35. So a welcoming sight for Reggie Larson's New Richmond squad to be able to put up these kinds of numbers offensively. Levante Bean, big run here. Nice run there and a dive forward to about the 40-yard line for Levante Bean as the Huskies quickly into enemy territory. It'll be 1st and 10 on the 43 now for the Huskies. Going to have to get aggressive, going to have to get really creative if you're the Huskies here on this drive. If they want any chance of coming back. Don't give up until the final whistle. Play until that final whistle. That's what the coaches preach, but you have to be thinking if Matt McGinnis is over there on that sideline, he just wants to get a couple more touchdowns in this game to really try and develop something and look ahead to what works for this team next week, because it is a long season. Huskies have Wausau West next Friday night for their first game ever in the Wisconsin Valley Conference. Peyton McCracken rolls out to his right. He's under pressure by a lot of orange jerseys, and he's going to throw it away. Talk about pressuring the quarterback tonight. That is exactly what the Huskies have been dealing with on that offensive line that has a lot of size coming back but not as much experience. And that was really a theme coming into the season, is for the Huskies. They didn't bring back a lot of skill, but they brought a lot of size. So these games early on in the season were going to be won in the trenches while the Huskies figure out who the top skill players are going to be. But so far it has been a tough show for the guys up front, for the Huskies on both sides of the ball, both trying to pressure and protect their quarterback. Blitz here. But McCracken bailed out by a flag there. We'll see who it's on. The pressure was coming from the left side. Looks like New Richmond's backing up here. And they're going to call it an encroachment call on the Tigers. So very few penalties in this game. There were a lot of penalties a week ago for Eau Claire North, but not that many in this game. So if there was anything that the Huskies can point to in this one, it was cleaning up those silly mistakes and keeping those yellow flags off the field on their end. And that just comes with getting into a rhythm in this first part of the season, right? A lot of these players might not have varsity experience. They just got to get the fundamentals down, not make those silly mistakes. As this pass is intercepted, as McCracken was under pressure, and it's intercepted by Abe Monson, the senior defensive back, all-conference player a year ago, as McCracken's ball was fluttering in the air, picked off by the senior. Looked like a badminton birdie just kind of flopping down there. The ball spinning in the air relentlessly. And the defense making plays here for the Tigers. A very, very complete game for New Richmond in this one so far. And I don't want to say it's all she wrote yet, but it's looking just about that way. New Richmond in firm control, stomping on the Huskies in this one on their home turf, giving the home crowd a game that everybody who's a Tiger fan wanted to see. Hand off to Joe Hepner there.
Starting next week, you'll have 7 games left. 6 of them against official conference teams.
So if you're the Huskies, how do you reevaluate after 2 losses to start the season? This obviously was not the way that they wanted this game to go. Last week was a better showing. We saw what the potential can be for the Huskies in the game last week, but this week it's kind of just they've lost their identity, it looks like, in this one. They came out flat. They haven't been able to get any momentum really throughout this game as there's a short game up the middle. But how do the Huskies reevaluate? They've been in this type of a situation before. That's what they can point to as they move on into conference play in their first ever game in the Wisconsin Valley Conference next week against Wausau West. But, I mean, how do you reevaluate? That's going to be the question for Matt McGinnis moving forward. What is it going to take to get these guys a spark? Is it just more reps? Is it, more intense practices? Is it completely changing up the game plan? That's going to be what they're going to have to look at as we head into conference play. Stallreck fires it over, screen to Aiden Eckert. That's going to be a first down. The Huskies feel like they can be a contender in the Wisconsin Valley Conference. They feel like their experience over the last couple of years being able to put some wins on the board has really helped them. They know what it takes to win games against very tough teams. But so far, this Husky team is not looking like a team we even saw a year ago or even a week ago. But sometimes they say maybe these are the types of games that a team needs when they get punched in the mouth like this to come back and get more motivation to go on for the rest of the season and put their best foot forward. As this snap is fumbled, looks like Stallreck was able to fall back on that. And the clock's going to continue to run here at New Richmond. New Richmond, they're going to have a tough go at it next week. They're at Chippewa Falls, a team that is putting up, at halftime, last time we checked, it was 39-0 against Eau Claire Memorial. Chippewa Falls, a team that has 38 seniors returning for head coach Chuck Rakovich. We call him Rako, up there in Chippewa Falls, the legendary Hall of Fame coach who's going to be going in this year. It's going to be a tough test for the Tigers next week, but right now they're focused on putting this one away against Eau Claire North. Looks like it's going to be a first down run by Alex Awney. A lot of misdirection, a lot of sweeps, a lot of using wide receivers in the run game. That's been a story tonight for this Tigers offense. But, yeah, next week's going to be a tough one as New Richmond enters conference play, their first conference game against Big River's foe Chippewa Falls, who is really looking like a strong team this year, one of the strongest in years for head coach Chuck Rakovich, and not an easy environment to play at DeRay Field up in Chippewa Falls. Can't wait for conference play to get started as we start to separate the men from the boys at the WIAA level, especially in the BRC, the best conference on this side of the state, in my opinion. Hepner up the middle, taken down hard, short of a first down. It's going to be very interesting to see how these Eau Claire teams enter the Wisconsin Valley Conference. A conference that features teams like Stevens Point, Wausau West, Wisconsin Rapids, Lincoln, Marshfield. Seen a little bit of what these teams can do. Rice Lake able to take down Wisconsin Rapids, Lincoln handily yesterday, but Spash looking like a really strong team. 43-point win over Superior last night. Some games played on Thursday. Able to get in despite the tough weather as another first down run here for New Richmond. That's Tavion Brandt getting some run as Reggie Larson letting some other guys get some touches here. That'll be a first down for the Tigers. Quick word from Security Financial Bank. SFB. Whether you are starting a business, buying your first home, or saving for college, SFB are the bankers who believe in you. Learn more today at sfbank.com, member FDIC.
North made it 21-7, but could never truly get back into this ball game.
1st and 10 on the 21. Just under 6 minutes to go here for the Tigers. Looking to try to surpass the 40-point mark. Just looking to get this clock running down and send these Tiger fans home with a win. First conference game, we don't know what to expect if you're Eau Claire North, judging off of the last 2 weeks. What kind of Eau Claire North team are we going to see? That's going to be the question coming into next week. You know Matt McGinnis is going to have his guys prepared and ready to go, though, but they're going to have to play much, much better than this if they want a chance to beat Wausau West next week. Wausau West taking on Hudson tonight. Hudson, one of those always a threat in the BRC.
Both on positive sides. There's
Tavion Brandt. Over to the far hash mark, and he's taken down right at about the sticks. Chain gang's looking, and they are going to continue to move slowly. They're looking for the – they're going to call it 1st and 10. And now we're getting a change of personnel here for New Richmond as Truman Weiss comes in at quarterback. The 5'9 junior, as Reggie Larson unloads some of his second team to get him some reps at the varsity level. And as a coach, you always love to see this. Not if you're Matt McGinnis, that's for sure. Matt McGinnis would have loved to keep his guys in this game, but if you're Reggie Larson, these are big-time reps for some of these young guys to kind of see what everybody has. And they're going to make another quarterback change here as Reggie Larson wants to get all of his guys in the game. This is Ben Salmon coming in. The junior quarterback, 5'11", rocking number 35 out there. You don't see number 35 on a quarterback very often. Brandt's going to get the carry, and he's swallowed up as time ticks away. About 4:06 to go, just over 4 minutes. Clay Lazinski on the tackle there. I think it's safe to say we saw the full potential of this Tiger team tonight. A team that there's been a bit of a question mark around coming into the season just based off of the numbers of returners they have, but we saw the potential, especially on offense. They do have a lot of experience at a lot of those skill positions. There has been a lot of competition, so it was a matter of time just to see who would step up.
Shotgun snap, Brandt on the carry. To go through the right side of the line.
Sometimes it just takes a week for these teams to really figure out what their identity is. I think Reggie Larson may have keyed in on something tonight for this Tigers team. Still a very, very big crowd here. The crowd not filing out just yet. They want to see the celebration. They want to share it with their kids. As the Tigers are well on their way to picking up their first win of the season. Second win of the season, excuse me. First home win of the season, I should say. New quarterback in. Gets hit hard on the right pylon. That's Lucas Quaddy. And they're going to call it a touchdown. Got hit hard on our far pylon. It was tough to see, but Lucas Quaddy, the sophomore, able to get the ball in the end zone for another Tiger touchdown. What a great play for the youngster. A rotation of quarterbacks on that drive. And that's going to be something that he remembers for a long time, and I'm sure Coach Reggie Larson. And they're actually going to call this back. They're putting the ball back on the 1 yard line. Some miscommunication with the officials. One official definitely did put his hands up for a touchdown there. Everybody was celebrating here in the crowd. So Lucas Quaddy, they gave him a touchdown. They gave the sophomore a touchdown, but they're taking it away from him. So the Tigers going to try again here. It's early on in the season for the referees, too. They're still getting things back. And it's actually going to be first down for the Huskies here. It's early on in the season for all of us. Early on in the season for us here in the booth. Early on for the players. Early on for the referees. Everybody's learning as we go here. That's part of the football season. That's just the way she goes sometimes. Second down for the Huskies here. Trying to see who the quarterback is. Hard to see from our angle. Run up the middle for the Huskies there. Third down now for the Huskies as time ticks away.
The check to arrive at this point. Postgame show, we'll replay a couple of highlights, take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard as well, and get you ready for next week. Third down and 2 from their own 8.
Third down run up the middle. Brody Heinbuck up the middle for the run. Brody Heinbuck was there on the carry, the sophomore. Stick around for a post-game show. We'll have a post-game interview on the field with Tigers head coach Reggie Larson. We'll try to get a player, impact player from this game as well. As the Tigers set to pick up their first home win of the season and move to 2-0 on the year. Looks like Caden Caldwell is the quarterback in now. 6'1" sophomore for Eau Claire North. Caden Caldwell in the game. Matt McGinnis getting some of his guys some late reps, some garbage time reps in this game. Despite the loss, if there's anything that comes out of this type of a situation, it's getting a look at some of these young guys and how they stay composed in these types of situations to see, you know, even evaluate for years to come. If it's not games to come, just evaluate for what's to come in the near future, or in the far future, I should say. Anytime in the future is when these guys are going to be potentially becoming impact players for both teams. So if there's anything you can take away from a lopsided score, it's getting a look at some of these young guys and seeing what they can do. Just over 1 minute to go here. It's been a great night for football here in Richmond. Of course, game postponed from yesterday due to that inclement weather, the severe storms that rolled through. And it was the right decision to get this game in full tonight. A packed crowd, first true Friday Night Lights football game for Eau Claire North, for our crew, for the Tigers this year. It is great to have football back. There's really nothing like football here in Wisconsin on a Friday night, especially on a night like this. Maybe a little bit warm for my liking, but can't complain at all because in about a month or two when the playoffs come around as well, we might be calling some games in below freezing temperatures. So we won't take this for a grain of salt, that's for sure. High snap, Caldwell tries to corral it. It's rolling back. Pressured by a lot of Tigers, and he runs out of bounds. And that's expected with this young group of second-teamers just trying to get their first reps in a varsity uniform, in varsity action. These are learning moments for these teams. As Caldwell runs out of bounds, stops the clock again, and this is probably going to be the last play of the game here, despite an incompletion or another clock stoppage. Reminder of how we got here tonight. New Richmond scoring on the first 3 drives, their first 3 offensive drives. Eau Claire North a fumble on the first drive in this one. Set up a touchdown for Austin Whittick. For Carter Hickok. Then Austin Whittick scored. Then Joe Hepner scored. Huskies' only touchdown came from Ben Metler on 4th and 5, and it was all she wrote from there as the Tigers ran away with this one as time ticks down here in New Richmond. New Richmond Tigers are going to pick up their second win of the season, 35-7, as this one is officially over. New Richmond takes the victory 35-7. They move to 2-0. First home win of the season. Eau Claire North falls to 0-2. Eau Claire North will be back next week against Wausau West on Friday night. That game will be at Carson Park. New Richmond Tigers start their Big Rivers Conference play action at the Chippewa Falls Cardinals. We're going to send it to a break. When we come back, we'll be down on the field with head coach Reggie Larson of the New Richmond Tigers. You're watching high school football on Zaleski Sports.
Hip impingement and hip labral tears are common causes of hip and groin pain and are often the result of repetitive use from crouching sports or trauma. Today, we are visiting Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Dr. Carlson, a partner with Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, is in the forefront of using a newer procedure called hip arthroscopy, which allows minimally invasive access to a joint and treatments to problems never addressed before. Using hip arthroscopy, Dr. Carlson is able to repair tissue without dislocating the hip and without replacing it.
Hip arthroscopy is where a surgeon takes a camera on the end of a long wand, which we call a scope, and through a small poke hole incision in your skin, delivers that scope into a joint. In this particular case, we're talking about hip arthroscopy, where that scope would be put in the hip joint. The hip joint first has to be dislocated or the ball and socket pulled apart. When that's pulled apart, we can access the joint and look around and do the work we're talking about doing. Once inside the joint, through other portals, we call them, those poke holes that we use to access the joint, we can use other instruments, again on the end of a long wand, to perform the work inside the joint. Things like repairing the cartilage rim of the socket, called the labrum, fixing cartilage defects or problems on the head of the ball or the lining of the socket, repairing tissue around the hip, such as ligaments or capsule, repairing tendons that attach to the hip, or releasing them if need be, depending on the particular problem.
Dr. Carlson's goal is to eliminate the segment of untreated patients or patients with delayed treatment who have curable hip pathology, educating potential patients and their providers that these symptoms are not things they need to live with, or that they are not from their back or groin pulls or early arthritis. Few orthopedic surgeons are operating on hips through a scope because it is a newer and technically difficult surgery. Therefore, certain diagnoses may be missed by physicians not familiar with these newer treatment options.
Patients I see with hip joint pain that can be fixed and not just replaced can range from their mid-teens or younger teens to 50, 60 years old. In the past, patients who had labral tears in their hip were told that they may have some pre-arthritis or an early arthritic problem. They may be told that they were just prone to frequent groin pulls in the sport of their choice. And taking some time away from their sport, they may sometimes be able to return to the sport with just continued pain. And fortunately now, with our knowledge of the concept of labral tears and our ability to treat that problem, we can take people who are otherwise just waiting 20 years to undergo a hip replacement, or just feeling that they can't ever participate in that activity because they'll just keep getting groin pulls. We can take that person, we can make them better, we can fix their problem, we can bring them back to their sport, and allow them to continue to develop as an athlete or as a worker or whatever particular activity they're trying to do where that hip is affecting them.
Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine has been committed to the healthcare needs of patients in western Wisconsin for over 45 years. Their success and reputation as an outstanding orthopedic clinic can be attributed to the teamwork of their friendly, knowledgeable physicians and staff.
Here at Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, we have 12 partners, orthopedics, neurosurgery, non-operative spine, and foot and ankle. We really pride ourselves in listening closely to the patients and hearing what they're saying, spending a lot of time engaging in the conversation of what is really bothering that person.
After meeting with the patient, Dr. Carlson determined that his difficulties had all been related to painful hip impingement.
It was incredibly important for me to meet with a doctor that understood sports and athletics and kind of just how I wanted to continue that lifestyle instead of just kind of shutting it down. So meeting with someone like Dr. Carlson was incredibly important to me because he understood how I still wanted to be active after a surgery and still wanted to maintain my daily lifestyle.
While visiting with Dr. Carlson, we learned that he grew up skiing and continues to ski competitively across the country and also enjoys hunting, fishing, and hiking. He is passionate that his patient's goal.
All right, down here on the field with Tigers head coach Reggie Larson. Reggie, great game tonight. Looked like the offense was able to find a rhythm. They were unable to do that last week, but I mean, how was it for you to see the offense and their true potential tonight?
Yeah, and I think we just came out with more energy. Like you felt last week, it just felt like we were kind of flat going through pregame kind of the week a little bit. So that was the big theme of the week. It's just urgency and, energy and everything that we do. And we had that starting at practice. We had it starting in our meetings, even pregame, and that was kind of the big focus. And you saw that come out. We got out to that really quick start, got the stop right away. Offense got the ball, went down and scored, and then it kind of just parlayed into the rest of the game. So there's always going to be things to correct, but I give our kids a lot of credit. We kind of coached them pretty hard. We knew what we did the previous week wasn't what we were capable of offensively, and our kids really responded to some of those difficult conversations, coaching them up, and we got better. And hopefully we can just stay on that trajectory throughout the rest of the year.
Talk about the energy level. How does the energy level of this group compare to other groups that you've had in the past?
And it's not fair to compare groups. Every one of them's got their strengths and weaknesses, and I will say about these guys is they are, for the lack of a better term, high flyers. When things are going good, they're going really, really good, okay? So that's what we really push those guys to do. Let's not even have to worry about the negative stuff. Let's get going in that really good trajectory and not really look back.
Did the extra day help you to prepare at all, or did it have any effect?
Yeah, honestly, it really did. We kind of had some guys battling some injuries, had a couple shakeups in some different spots, so that extra day of practice gave us some more reps, and just, really good decision kind of looking at the weather yesterday, kind of get back on a more normal schedule playing on Fridays, and then we kind of get into Big Rivers Conference play going into next week.
How did it feel to be back here in front of the home crowd tonight?
Yeah, it's really fun. Richmond community's a ton of fun. I think we're really kind of starting to embrace football as, a really kind of big part of this community. They're really into it. We got a great student section, great parents, great community. Fun to kind of put a show on for them tonight.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach. Great win tonight.
Thank you.
See you next week. All right, we're going to bring in the quarterback. Number 12, Nick, congratulations. Nice win tonight. How does it feel to get a big win tonight in front of the home crowd? First home win.
Feels amazing. First one as a starting quarterback at the home turf. Feels great.
You got your teammates dancing behind you. Everybody's got great energy. Your coach just talked about how much energy this group has coming into this year. Can you kind of talk more about that and what kind of life you guys bring to the football field?
Yeah, it started last year after we lost in the third round to Wanakee. Just building up that culture, building up that energy, and it's shown out here today.
What was it like for you to find an offensive rhythm and, reach your full potential tonight as an offense? I know last week it was a struggle for you to find that rhythm, but it looked like you guys were really firing on all cylinders tonight.
Yeah, it feels great. Offensive line, awesome. Receivers, awesome. Tight ends were amazing, and running backs were unreal today. Yeah.
To be 2-0 to start the season like this, what does it say about this group and the potential you guys have moving forward as we get into conference play now?
Feels amazing, but we're not done. A lot more games coming up. Got to keep working.
Okay. Got one more thing for you. It's a Zaleski sports tradition. We have you say your first and last name. You're going to say, I'm Nick. Pronounce your last name for me.
Stellwright.
Stellwright. I'm Nick Stellwright, and I'm in the house, okay? You see our camera up there?
Yep.
I'm going to have you say, I'm Nick Stellwright, and I'm in the house, all right? When I count you down, I'll have you do it, all right? 1, 2, 3.
I'm Nick Stellwright, and I'm in the house.
All right, awesome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Great win tonight. All right, that was quarterback Nick Stellwright for the Tigers. Great win tonight for New Richmond on home turf. They are 2-0 now. They're going to be back next week against Chippewa Falls. We will be back at Carson Park next Friday night as the Eau Claire North Huskies take on the Wausau West team in their first conference matchup in the Wisconsin Valley Conference ever. We can't wait for that one. For Colin McLowry up in the booth, my name is Evan Honk. Thank you so much for joining us on Zaleski Sports. We'll see you next week.
Just a reminder that this postgame show was brought to you by Chippewa Valley Orthopedic. Rely on the experience of our sports medicine team. When you experience any sports-related injury or issue, you can count on prompt, proper diagnosis, and a customized treatment plan to meet your goals. The orthopedic surgeons and our athletic trainers serve your athlete in Eau Claire, Chippewa Falls, and western Wisconsin. Thanks for hanging out with us and watching this game. We'll be back next week as Eau Claire North will take on Wausau West at Carson Park.